Coming up, tonight's contestants are competing to be crowned the winner of a DVD Extra. This week, Shrek 2's Far, Far Away Idol, and this is Most Extreme Podcast.
Welcome to Most Extreme Podcast, the show where we discuss and analyze the enigma that is 2000s pop culture. I'm Brett Ellison.
I'm Jonathan Snowdy.
And I'm Jarrett Whitworth.
And this is our Far, Far Away Shrek 2 episode, which is funny that we'll have a better title of it when this comes out, but this is the one you clicked on. And I thought, okay, a bit of an icebreaker to start out, but what Shrek character do you associate yourself with the most?
Oh, wow.
I'll give you time to think, but I will say Thelonious, which is Lord Farquaad's executioner character, who basically just says, "Three, my lord."
Three, my lord. Holds up two fingers.
Yeah, he's my favorite. Anyone? Jonathan? Jarrett?
You can't just spring that on us. Jeez.
Yeah, God.
I really got to settle into that question.
Okay, well, while we're doing that, let me bring out our guest. He's a fantastic actor and one of our best friends. It's Jackson Gemborys.
Hello. Thank
Hey.
you for having me, Brett, Jonathan, Jared.
Thanks for
Pleasure
coming
to
on the
be
show,
here.
man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you have a Shrek character that you associate with?
That is a loaded question.
Look up Shrek characters.
I think I'd be one of the three blind mice.
Okay, nice. Not just all three?
No, I think I'd be the one who's always like messing up. The one who, when they like in the beginning of Shrek 2, and they run into Shrek's house, and he's like, "Hey,
yeah.
wait for me!" and he gets like stuck behind the door. I'd be that guy.
Very
I'd be
cool.
that mouse.
Yeah, for sure.
I think maybe the gingerbread man has the most depth.
Gingy? Yeah.
I think Gingy's not a bad pick.
That's not bad. Yeah, I like Gingy. Especially in Shrek 2 and in Far, Far Away Idol, both of our topics. I think he's got a lot to work with. Especially bringing up, jokes from the first movie that come in later to play as part of the plot line for Shrek 2. Especially the the Muffin Man, that whole bit. Yeah. So, Jonathan, do you have a character?
I'm probably that guy working the fast food window in Shrek 2 when the fairy godmother is like that late night snack. That's me.
Oh, and there's an axe for the Happy Meal toy or whatever. Oh, I love that.
Oh.
Do we want to do a magical year of Wheel of Years, whatever we called it again? The thing.
Oh yeah. Let's bring that
So
up.
Jackson, for you, if you don't know, we Jarrett will pull out like a year, and we just tell a quick story from that year. So
Looks like the year that comes up is 2008.
oh, okay,
Ooh.
2008.
2008.
Jonathan, do you have one? A story?
I'm drawing a blank right now.
I'll get it started while y'all are thinking.
Okay, I think I have one, but go ahead.
A blessing and a curse from the Facebook memories part of Facebook is that like it is fun to look back on some stuff, and it's like something pops up and that's kind of great. But then other times it's a little more embarrassing. I realized I had some strong American Idol opinions.
Oh,
Circa 2008.
Yeah. Yeah.
who won that? year?
If I recall, that was season 7. I was in 9th grade. I think that was season 7. I think that's when David Cook won.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just
was that when there
bad.
were two Davids?
I was just belligerent.
The Battle
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Davids.
I remember that season.
Yeah. I really, really hated David Archuleta. I was like, yeah. And I have like, there were 2 days in a row where it was just like all kinds of like, remember when this happened 11 years ago or 12 years ago or whatever? And I was like, oh gosh, delete those. I don't need anybody.
Delete
I don't
the
need any
memories.
evidence of this, but,
Screw you, David Archuleta.
yeah.
American Idol will definitely play a bit into our conversation.
Yeah. That might be teasing a future deal here.
Man.
I would say when I was in 2008, I did a theater camp, and we did play The Hobbit so it was like a week, and we would do plays in like a week. So we did The Hobbit. I was Thorin, and at one point when we were going through the rehearsals and just blocking, we had realized that we wouldn't be able to do a certain scene just for time limits of the week. So we didn't do it, and we told the whole cast that we weren't going to do this scene at all. And there was one guy in the cast who never read his lines once until the very last day of dress rehearsal for the show. And during the performance, the one performance, begins to transition us into a scene that we did not rehearse at all. And like stops the whole play in order to go, oh, we got to go over here, everybody. And we had to improvise the whole scene in front of a huge crowd of people. This is also our friend Elijah, who was, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, who forgot his lines. And has now gone on to be on like shows like the CW Legacies.
Oh, not your brother, Elijah.
No, I do have a brother named Elijah.
Our friend.
What did
Your younger brother.
What did you start talking about?
So the scene was like we had to escape a castle or something like that, but we just cut it and we added a line like, oh, just follow me out here. We found the door or something like that. But he was like, no, guys, we have to leave the castle. And so he was like yelling. And so I think we improvised like, look over there.
Watch out for the lava.
It was amazing. So, yeah, improv is king.
I've always wanted to do that in a play. Like, just a Neil Simon, like, all of a sudden bring out a gun and be like, all right, I'm taking everyone hostage. Get on the ground.
I thought this was Othello.
Right, yeah. It's like, well, I guess this isn't Shakespeare after all.
Jonathan, you got anything?
I was 2008 that year. Then in our co-op classes, we were doing the like bottle rockets.
That sounds familiar because we must have been.
And it was you, me, and our friend Quinn on one team, and we were like dangerously into our roles. Like we were given like titles like
That sounds familiar.
I think I was like head engineer or something. We're making like rockets
Brett
out
was
of
a CFO.
out of 2-liter bottles. Yeah, Brett's like the CFO. I think our teacher made us like laminated name tags. We were all about it.
Y'all made
that
this
was
for
the,
yourselves.
That was the
Yeah,
coolest.
for sure. But
2008, I did not have access to
You had a laminator?
laminators.
no. But yeah, that's the magical wheel of years. Yay.
Woo!
So yeah, I guess Jackson, I gave you kind of a list of some like episodes that we were thinking about doing, and just like here are some ideas. Do any of these stand out? And you immediately were like Shrek.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Do you have an association with Shrek or anything?
I have an association with Shrek 2 specifically.
Okay.
It's the one Shrek movie that I know by heart. I remember my dad bought it from Blockbuster Video.
Oh wow, that's
There you
And
go.
it was back in the day when DVDs were still really big. So when we got it, it was like, oh my gosh, we got a DVD. And it came with all the special features.
Right.
And one of the big things was Far, Far Away Idol because it was a game on a movie, which we thought was incredible. But I remember playing the game with my whole family, and we thought that the Three Blind Mice were the best singers. So we voted for them. And then all of a sudden, Simon Cowell was the winner. And we were so mad. We were like, what the heck? Simon Cowell's in the winners of the Three Blind Mice.
Oh man, that's definitely gonna play. Wow. Do either of you have any association with Shrek? Or what are your thoughts on Shrek?
Oh, I love Shrek. I love
Yeah,
Shrek.
Yeah.
as a franchise.
Oh, yes. I mean, I haven't seen the fourth one.
Okay.
The
You
first
mean
two.
the,
and
like
the,
Happily Ever After or whatever, that one?
Forever
If
After.
I'm not
Forever
mistaken,
After?
Jackson, did we see that at a outdoor movie theater together? Shrek Forever After. I know we saw Zootopia.
Yeah.
Because I think Jonathan and Jackson and I saw
Yeah.
Zootopia at it, and my brother, who's pretty cynical when it comes to like animated movies, we saw Zootopia, and then the credits rolled, and he just stood at me like, "That's one of the best movies I've ever seen." And I'm like, "I agree."
Shawshank, Zootopia.
Oh man.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I remember seeing Shrek 4 with my middle school for a field trip.
Wow, what a field trip. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, to be honestly, out of like all the topics that we talked about, that I guess because we say at the beginning that it's like the enigma that is 2000s pop culture, but after like kind of doing some research about like Far, Far Away Idol, it seems like pretty much an enigma in terms of like nobody knows what it was, and everyone's like all the comments on the YouTube version of it are like, wait, this existed? I thought it was a dream I had. Like nobody, nobody can like somehow remember it. But yeah, you know, it's just one of those weird things that goes very specifically into like the 2000s of sort of these like extra DVD bonus features that would be like an extra movie or something, which is definitely will play into a lot. But I've never been a huge fan of Shrek in general. But I think it's more just because I'm not a huge DreamWorks person. I think I'm definitely a Pixar stan, especially around this time, where I think they were just hitting like hit after hit after hit, where I feel like DreamWorks in general has been sort of like up and down.
Yeah. Well, they rode Shrek for 4 movies, right?
Right.
How to Train Your Dragon's very good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they've made some great movies, but I think in general, they've never hit like a string of great films.
Right.
But that's just my opinion. Do you guys what are your thoughts on DreamWorks?
I was a big fan of Madagascar when that came out. And I like Shrek a lot too, but I don't know. Other than that, besides How to Train Your Dragon, they all seem kind of hit or miss to me. Those seem to be their big 3 right there.
Oh, you got put some respect on the Boss Baby, man.
Oh, I forgot about Boss
Boss
Baby.
Baby.
See,
Oh,
I didn't see Boss Baby.
The opening scene of Boss Baby is, I don't want to get crazy, but like might be as good as the opening scene in Up.
Wow.
Or maybe
Like
not.
as
I don't know.
emotional or
Oh, heavens no. But it's good.
yeah.
It's clever.
Jonathan, what do you think about DreamWorks?
I think I have to agree with you, Brett. I'm definitely more of a Pixar, especially that era. It's like that classic Pixar. DreamWorks, they're really hit or miss. I think even Shrek was kind of hit or miss. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the Shrek like overall,
Sure.
of the whole franchise, but I'm definitely a fan of Shrek 2. That's the one I've seen the most.
Yeah.
And that's the one I've rewatched the most. Like I'd have to think really hard to what the plot of the first movie was, but I remember pretty well what happened in the second one.
Sure, yeah. I think that's sort of the consensus, at least from just everyone I've talked to. Like Shrek 2's the good one, 3's not good, 4's like pretty good, but not,
There was a 4th one?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't even know there's a 4th one. But yeah, that's sort of DreamWorks in general has always been kind of up and down, which is weird because, I mean, if it's okay, I have a little bit of the history of DreamWorks, so I can ramble for a little bit because I think it's really interesting and sort of like how did Shrek come to be? Because it's very, which we'll definitely talk about in a second, but it's extremely satirical of Disney, number one, because of mainly the founder of DreamWorks, Jeffrey Katzenberg. So if you've ever watched a DreamWorks movie and it does like the opening logo of like DreamWorks, and then there's the letters like SKG at the bottom, that stands for the 3 founders of DreamWorks, which is Spielberg, Katzenberg, and Geffen. And Geffen's like an entrepreneur person. So Katzenberg is the main one we want to talk about because he's sort of the animation guru of everything. But we need to be careful what we say about Katzenberg because apparently he's like one of the most hardest people in Hollywood to ever work for. So let's just keep it right there that Katzenberg, you seem like a nice person, and we're going to do our best. But, okay, in a very, very rushed generalization, let me just explain sort of the Katzenberg Shrek, how Shrek came to be, a very rushed. So, this is all my notes. Katzenberg was an executive at Paramount Pictures, and he was the guy who was in charge of kind of rebooting Star Trek. So like the Wrath of Khan and like the early movies of Star Trek and sort of bringing that back. And Michael Eisner was the CEO of Paramount. Katzenberg and Eisner go to Disney in the 80s and take it over and try to make it as big and start the Disney Renaissance as we know it. So Eisner's the CEO, Katzenberg is in charge of all movies at the studio. And Katzenberg tries to basically turn Disney into what we know because they kind of suck for a little bit. So he's in charge of making Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King. So I guess what most people consider like their best films, I guess, of like the Disney anime classics. But over time, I guess the board of Disney just said that Katzenberg was extremely hard to work with because he had a huge ego problem and apparently was pathologically pushing people out of the company in order to gain like executive at the top. It's basically like House of Cards, but the house is a mouse instead of Congress. All right, y'all can have the permission to moan or groan as much as you need to.
Oh man.
Yeah, so Frank Wells was the second man in charge of Disney. He tragically passed away in a helicopter accident, and Katzenberg just believed that he would be the next in line. Eisner just didn't take it. Katzenberg sues Michael Eisner. They get in a huge feud, and he leaves and sues Disney for $250 million for the money that he was apparently owed, and starts DreamWorks with Spielberg and everybody. And so they originally start out DreamWorks Pictures, and he does the animation. And they're basically at the beginning doing kind of just what Disney was doing, but a little bit more epic. So they're making The Prince of Egypt, El Dorado, like these 2D animated movies, but they're kind of more classic, a lot of biblical tales, but still kind of the musical. And it didn't really hit. I mean, we can talk about the whole Ants Bugs Life debacle, but that's, I think, a whole nother episode. But Katzenberg had a huge player to play on that. And so then they find this storybook called Shrek, and then Katzenberg kind of uses it as his way to basically have like a middle finger to Disney as a way to be like, I used to run Disney, therefore I can make all the jokes about them that we couldn't have made. And so that's sort of becomes the whole mantra of what Shrek is. And so that's the kind of the history of Shrek. In a really corporate and logical way of putting it. Some other facts just to know about the Shreks is that both Shrek and Shrek 2 were in competition for the Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival both years, which is considered the highest award in all of film, like bigger than the Best Picture Oscars, is that people were legit taking Shrek and Shrek 2 in this huge competition.
Yeah. They're films. They are films.
Yeah, for sure.
They were both nominated for Academy Awards, weren't they?
So Shrek won the first ever Best Animated Oscar.
Oh, it won.
They had never done it before, and Shrek is the first to win it, which is funny because the second one to win it is Spirited Away, which could not be the most different films at all, because like I think most of us would probably say Spirited Away is maybe one of like the most important pieces of cinema ever put on screen. Like it's like gorgeous, it's moving, and it like is an endless time tale where like Shrek has a lot of like, I don't know, kind of out the first Shrek mainly has like some pretty outdated references. Like there's a lot of like Matrix jokes, and I think there's like an I See Dead People reference. So things that like, I don't know, don't hold as much as today. But this is also, I mean, the franchise that saved the studio because it made so much money. And actually, I think for like 10 years, Shrek 2 was like the highest grossing animated movie of all time or something like that.
I remember that being the case for a long time.
But yeah. So it was huge. I mean, it was everywhere. In a way, it's almost like every kid's first satire, at least for our generation.
Yeah.
Or that or like The Simpsons, you know? Where like the jokes are making fun of something. There's a theater term for it. I think it's... Hang on, let me go.
Jackson.
It's like
Man, it's been a
it's
while.
like a satire that's not like cruel, but like it's poking fun of it, but it's
Parody?
not.
Yeah.
No, because
Something
parody is like
different.
you're just doing the same thing.
Homage.
Hang on. Oh, okay. Horatian satire. It's a type of satire. Hang on. Playfully criticizes some social vice through gentle, mild, or lighthearted humor. So, like, The Simpsons is even a good example where it's like, it's making fun of other cartoons and just sort of cinema, but it's also like a fan of it at the same time. So, but that's sort of the gist of Shrek is that it's like, Disney is kind of messed up. But we're going to be edgy about it. So,
Yeah.
a lot of reference humor, throughout.
Yeah, I noticed that just watching Shrek 2. I mean, right at the beginning, you got Lord of the Rings references, Spider-Man. Those are the first two where I was like, yep, there you go. You got Lord of the Rings right off the bat.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of the ones that make me laugh the most in Shrek 2, but I think it's all the royal trumpets show up at the swamp, and they all are playing the same thing, and then one just like swings over and starts playing the Hawaii 5-0 theme. I think that's the satire that makes me laugh the most in these movies is when it's like you think something's going to happen and then it switches to something else.
Yeah, just the pivot.
Right, which rather than like in Shrek 2, there's a bunch of the references are just we're just doing the reference, which is not as funny to me. Like there's like some Jurassic Park references where like, you see like the water and it like moves, or like Mission Impossible. Like I think Pinocchio one time just goes down. But it's like to me that's not as funny as if it was like like Farbucks. I think is a funny one where the joke is. Not just that oh, look, we're making fun of Starbucks. The joke is that they all run across the street to another one, like an identical one. So that's, I don't know, that when it's witty, I think it's funny. But, yeah. Also, this is one of the times Katzenberg is kind of in charge of, and this movie specifically being like, let's market the actors who are playing all the parts. Because I found a poster... And, like, literally the poster is just the names of the actors. And then, like, parts of the faces next to them. Hang on. Yeah. So it's, like, Myers, Murphy, Diaz, Lithgow. So that was huge. Because now it feels like every animated movie is just, like, you know, the names first. And that's part of the marketing towards it. Because, like, I don't know, like, Onward just came out a few months ago. And I feel like that movie was completely marketed because it's like, you know them from Marvel. It's Star-Lord and Spider-Man, but they're brothers. And I don't think it would have sold as much either way.
No, probably not. I mean, they also got like Julia Louis-Dreyfus in that too from Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. Not saying that she's a big money, like her name, but yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like if it wasn't for Chris Pratt and Tom Holland, it wouldn't
right
even that big.
Yeah, but it's been weird because I feel like they're like DreamWorks specifically, like their voice acting. It normally feels like they're just kind of doing their voices. I mean, like Eddie Murphy. I mean, it's funny, but it's like Eddie Murphy and like Cameron Diaz. Mike Myers, of course, doing like the Scottish character that he's done in like, he did it on SNL, I think. He's done it in So I Married an Ex-Murderer. I know that.
In what's it called? Austin Powers. The character Fat Bastard.
Right, Fat Bastard.
So identical to Shrek.
Right. I think he even does it in Cat in the Hat. I think he does a Scottish accent. And it's like he's just doing Shrek.
Oh, man, there's a movie.
Yeah.
We going to do that
we
one?
have to do... I don't want to do an episode on the Cat in the Hat movie. That movie is so bad.
Yeah.
But it's kind of getting a cult status because of like how bad it is, I think.
We can do that on our DVD extras.
we mail out DVDs of our audio to our fans.
Just a
$5
floppy disk that destroys your computer or whatever. Like,
what I'm saying, like compared to like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen as Buzz and Woody, like I maybe because their performances are so good or the animation, but it's like I can't watch Woody and think that's Tom Hanks. It almost feels like they're separate almost. Yeah, or even like. I'm trying to think of some other like ones where you're like, oh my gosh, they really like even Robin Williams is the genie, even though he's basically just playing himself. It's like so iconic that you can see you can separate it. But I don't know. How do you feel about like voice acting as performances?
Well, I mean, these are like already established big names that they're bringing in to do the voices for these things, right?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, beforehand that was not the case. Right. Yeah. So. I don't know. It feels interesting, especially now because now we see all these like B-roll footage of like I don't know. I'm gonna use Chris Pratt and Tom Holland again, and like they're in the studio with like the cardboard cut out next to them. Like that's so much now. Like part of the whole like reason you see them now is who's gonna be in it.
I feel like voice acting in general it's like it can still pay pretty well because people are obviously making a living as voice actors, but they're just not like famous. Like it wasn't, especially back then. It typically wasn't like promoted as much as like a fame sort of thing.
Right, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. The humor is definitely more crass, I think, in Shrek, and I think that kind of started the whole like. Especially in trailers, like fart jokes, which feels super 2000s.
Right.
Like,
before you pop one off, like
lots of like fart jokes where it's like,
gotta save my ass.
Yeah, I feel like there's a ton of even in I mean, it's been around forever. Where it's like, I guess an example might be like Rocky and Bullwinkle. Like that's been around forever. Where like the humor is very much like this is for the kids, this is for the adults. Where I feel like a smarter movie might, like How to Train Your Dragon even, just be able to find a way to like connect them.
Yeah,
because I
just
think
all for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, parents laugh at fart jokes. It's not like that's just for children, and then like the reference to Magnum PI or something is for the parents. So I don't know. But then we definitely saw some Shrek ripoffs for sure. Like there's like Happily Never After and like Dougal, especially because like when like CGI animation was hitting, it definitely felt like there was like, I mean, Hoodwinked is definitely a lot of people would consider
Right.
Hoodwinked to be a huge ripoff of
Definitely has
Shrek.
that vibe.
But I would probably argue that it's a better script. The animation's not better for sure. The animation is not good, but I think it's way funnier. I don't know. I think
I would
they've
have to
got
go back.
Watch it.
I think I watched like most of it a long time ago.
Okay.
I've definitely seen it. I have very little recollection of what happens in Hoodwinked.
It's maybe I'm not joking, maybe one of my favorite animated movies just because of how funny it is. So I watched it, or I feel like I watched it during COVID times. And I was
really?
Still
I just
holds
remember
up.
that one shot where they're like trying to get in contact with the grandmother, and they call her, and it just cuts to her like going X Games mode, or, like, going down, like skiing down an avalanche.
I love that movie. Do you guys feel like, I don't know, now it feels like because Shrek is so, I feel like it's become so popular now just through memes. Like everything now, like meme wise, is either SpongeBob, which we already talked about, or Shrek.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's just our generation like making fun of Shrek about how weird it was, or is it just because we like it so much that we're just gonna be talking about it?
Because we like it so much. Don't forget the Office meme scene is really vibrant as well.
Which one is that?
Just The Office, the show.
Oh,
the
I
show
feel
on
like-
NBC was kind of big.
Yeah,
for a little bit of time.
The what? No, I feel like The Office has had this really weird. The Office has had this weird thing where it's like, a lot of the actors really haven't like done a ton much besides like Steve Carell and maybe John Krasinski, and so all of them have kind of hit this phase where the fan base is so big that they can pretty much make a living of just going like to conventions and doing cameo and things like that. But I think it's getting almost to the point with like original Star Trek where like that's all they did, and so it felt like the fans felt like they had like ownership over them in a way where they're like, you will only be Stanley from now on, or Angela. Like, I mean, like Jenna Fisher and Angela, they do like an Office podcast, because of the fandom being so huge. But I feel like it's almost a little like too controlling in terms of the fanship. I love The Office, but I do feel like it's a little like. I mean, we can all agree. I think once Steve Carell left, it wasn't the same thing.
No, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah. But so yeah, that's kind of all I have to talk about. I guess like Shrek as a cultural icon.
Like, I think getting back to Shrek and the memes, I feel like. So I think you asked a question about like, are we like joking about it sort of ironically, like, oh, Shrek, you know,
So weird.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life,
Right.
Or I think some of it is that Shrek was quirky, I think, in ways that a lot of animated movies at that time weren't.
Sure.
Or like didn't dare to be. And so in that way it was different, and it really stood out to people in terms of its humor and the jokes that it really, like, it went out and went for, you know, a different style of humor that we hadn't seen in animation. And I feel like Shrek is also one of those movies that like you could kind of take it seriously, but it's not taking itself seriously. And I
Right.
think that's some of the things that people like about it is like it's a little bit like irreverent in that way, like mainly towards itself, and that it'll just make these jokes or references,
Yeah.
even if they're like somewhat at its own expense.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna say Jardo.
And I was just brain blast here. Are we going to mention the song All Star?
Yeah. Well, that's the funniest thing
Wow.
ever to me is that
The anthem.
is that a Palme d'Or Cannes Film Festival nominated film in competition starts with Shrek using ripping a page of a book to wipe his butt with and flushes the toilet to Smash Mouth All Star. It was like film critics from around the world, these French filmmakers are all sitting there with the most like
The Smash Mouth.
we like the Smash Mouth.
Just a
And then
long cigarette.
I love how they use it. And it's not like that song had been used a million times already in like every movie at this point. It's even like I think it's the end credit song to the Digimon movie.
I want to say it's also in the Rat Race. If you remember
I know
that
it's
movie?
in Mystery Men.
Mystery Man.
I think it's also in Rat Race.
It was around.
It was I think is it in an American Pie movie too?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like it was like every movie had Smash Mouth in it at some point. Which that song is so like okay.
And
I do
speaking
have,
of memes, the Smash or All Star, except like the beats don't stop coming or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
like-
some of these
It's like
videos.
11
Right.
minutes of just that
Or it's
one
like
line.
All Star, but it's Country Roads instead.
right,
It's like all
right.
auto
A
tuned.
lot of those.
There's that
Gosh.
guy who sings covers of a bunch of songs. Except he
Right.
just
Is he, like,
swaps the lyrics for
Is he like playing the guitar or something too?
for all he's got like tracks. Actually, Jackson,
I think he has, like, a
think
little
it,
ukulele.
I think it our at one of our summer camps. I got you with it because I played just the audio and it started off with like being "Hello" by Adele, but then
Yeah.
the lyrics hit in and it was like Smash Mouth.
I think I remember.
Do you remember that?
It's like some guy just
Yeah,
like on a
yeah.
webcam, right?
Yeah, it's literally just a webcam.
this guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the beard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with the super low camera angle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
they're so funny. Well, I mean, Shrek has had some of those like 10-hour loops or something,
Right.
Or like anytime they say the word Shrek, it speeds up. I mean, B movie.
Anytime
yeah.
a new character is introduced, it speeds up. I've seen that. That's like a 12-second video on YouTube if you want to check that out. That opening scene in the swamp. Every fairy tale creature.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like B movie, which is another DreamWorks movie, has been memed to death because I think it's that one. I feel is a little different because I think everyone's like, it's a movie about a bee who like sues the human race
and
Because they're
steals
stealing-
some dude's girl.
right, and it's played by Jerry Seinfeld. It's like what? I think that one is a little bit more like, what was this? And so let's like meme this because it's so weird.
When you put it like that, yeah, it sounds pretty weird.
Yeah.
But I remember when it came out, it was a pretty big deal.
B
Like,
movie?
Yeah, yeah.
There is in 30 Rock at one point Jerry Seinfeld shows up and they filmed it right around the time that he was promoting B movie. So anytime they say the word B movie, they all look at the camera like coming into theaters like November 3rd. So B movie, check it out. Classic film. What were you laughing?
I'm just looking at one of these videos of just this guy. Because it's the Evanescence Bring Me to Life vocal cover, but he just starts singing All Star. And then one of the comments is, would love to see him, or I'm sorry, no, it's imagine the guards seeing him rocking up at Area 51. Sorry, that just.
Oh
made me
man,
laugh.
that kind of dates that. The whole Area 51. Was that last year?
Yeah, it was,
Wow.
yeah, like last September.
Okay, I do want to show you. I did find this one video. 'cause-
Showed this to my lizard, it's now Godzilla.
okay, so I do.
YouTube
I found,
comment of the week.
when looking up some Shrek 2 stuff because the promotion for it was so big. Because I think they were kind of risking it on the first Shrek, but then they had made so much money that Shrek 2 was just like, it's gonna be the biggest franchise ever. So I'm gonna have to read the audio, but I found this commercial selling Shrek 2 at Walmart. And essentially, it's just Shrek and Donkey are in Walmart.
I've seen this.
And there's a human woman, just hanging out with Shrek and Donkey.
Having to act like they're there.
Right, she's like,
I remember
Shrek.
that. I remember that double pack.
You want
Actually,
this?
Yeah.
she looks kind of like scared, like she's
Yeah.
been forced to be a part of this.
Right. And so then they all dance, and she's in the background as a woman just
Yeah.
sort of dancing with soulless,
hopping.
like the most boring face. The best part about this entire thing is that the first comment is, "Don't you just hate watching someone else live your own dream?" Which I have to love that.
Living your own dream.
But at that point, they had like Burger King toys and
Right.
M&Ms.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
the Shrek canon world, like the lore hits everything. American Idol, Walmart,
Yeah.
M&Ms. Yeah,
The merchandising and cross merchandising.
yeah, for sure.
Do you remember? Okay, this has been bugging me for a long time because I've been asking people about this, and apparently I'm the only one to remember. So it's like do you remember they had green ketchup that had Shrek on it? Do you remember that being on
think
shelf?
I remember that.
Jackson, do you remember?
No.
No.
I feel like
it
I
gets
vaguely
worse
remember
because
that.
I looked up the packaging. They have Shrek and Fiona, and Fiona's just is red for some reason. But it's also
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
very
I remember the weird colored
Heinz-
ketchups. Yeah.
Yeah. That thank you for.
Yeah.
I feel justified.
I
being
remember
validated.
never getting them.
No,
Also,
no. Oh, I probably wouldn't have eaten that as a kid. I would have been like, "What's this?"
What's this purple stuff on my
I
hot
have
dog?
I have not met another person who remembers that.
I did find a BuzzFeed article right here that says 9 disgusting Shrek food tie-ins. And some of them involve like fruit gushers that are considered to be boogers, so they're green.
Oh man.
Kid cuisine, which has like Shrek-shaped fun nuggets. Yeah, green popcorn from Pop Secret. Toaster strudel.
I got
Go-Gurt. We already talked about that.
I got
Twinkies
Shrek Twinkies
with like
ogre green creamy filling.
Oh,
Same great.
it's not the best color to be putting in your food.
No, but it's also not just like it's not like. It's like that very like slime green. It's not
Yeah.
even like lime. It's not
Yeah.
forest green. Not candy apple.
like
it's like
Kids' Choice
snot.
Awards green.
Yeah,
Right, like
it's just
slime.
snot.
Hey, that's a dream of mine. Is to be slimed.
Get slime at
Yeah.
at the Kids' Choice Awards or just by the official.
Or something like, I mean, they're bringing back Double Dare, things like that. That'd be fun.
Oh, there you go.
So, can we bring it? Should we bring it back to like the topic of like Far, Far Away Island and Shrek 2?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say because I remember this is a weird way. So this is how I saw Far, Far Away Off for the first time. I was at Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
And they had it on one of those giant SD TVs that made like the white noise sound. And it was like hanging from this TV, and they played it, and it just went to the part where you're supposed to vote, and just stayed there for the next 20 minutes. And
Oh man,
I think they're just like, "There's kids here. Put something on." And I remember it being
The
on
bonus features of
and it was
Shrek
on it was on mute too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, "What is this? This whole other Shrek movie I haven't seen or heard of?
Oh, yeah.
And who's this guy? This random uncanny valley human who's hanging out with him because I can't hear the voice."
wow.
But that was definitely a time where it's like, I mean, the whole like marketing for being like, and now the 2-disc bonus feature special edition of every movie.
Yeah.
Where the movie's on the first disc and the bonus features are all on the second disc.
Yeah.
And they were normally like a bunch. So a few ones that I could remember off the top of my head that I'm trying to think of, like that had like interactive games and stuff like that. As the Lion King special edition DVD had like almost like a virtual reality game, but it was just on your TV. But it's like you and like some people are going through a jeep through like the African safari. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. And you could like get food or like fast food or something.
So like
on
they'd
it.
stop
Yeah.
at like a fork in the road, and then you with your remote would have to choose which way you wanted to go. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And they did the same thing with Aladdin, with like a magic carpet ride thing, and you had to like find pieces throughout like the game. And then like Ice Age had one, and Madagascar had like more of a trivia game of like about animals, and then it would like show you a clip, and then you had to answer a question at the end type thing. But I feel like now, because of streaming, this is coming back. The whole like interactive movie thing. Like Netflix is doing a ton of that with like the Minecraft story mode, and like they did like the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt movie.
Black Mirror, Bandersnatch.
Yeah, and then the big one I was thinking of was Bandersnatch, where it's literally like every decision you make changes with like the remote control you have in your hand. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. I don't know. I think if with something like Bandersnatch, where like it's all based on knowing, like the story is all based on knowing that the audience is in control of what's going to happen. Where like, I mean, earlier on, with like Far, Far Away Island and stuff like that, it's more just like you get to decide what happens. So, I don't know.
I think Over the Hedge, if I remember correctly, like they had a bonus DVD thing, a game that you could play where it was like you played as Remy the squirrel, and he had to like find something around the house. But
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, cool.
I think, and that was a DreamWorks too. Was
Yeah, that's a good
Over
one.
the Hedge.
Was
yeah.
that in the movie where he like the squirrel drinks coffee or something, or like Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
And then just like moves through time.
Yeah.
You're right.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's really fun. I don't know. Should we talk about Shrek too? And you guys want to talk about Shrek too and Shrek Far, Far Away Island?
Let's do it.
I like that when you Google Far, Far Away Idol, it comes up as a 2004 short film. But if you go to the IMDb page, they just call it 2004 video.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's just
It's got a 91% rating from Google users.
I was gonna say on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is there a Rotten Tomatoes page for it?
I don't know. I haven't found one. I use the app Letterboxd, which is like a movie logging app, and so you can review it. And for Far Far Away Idol, there's a few great ones. One person gave it 5 stars. 5 stars, said this masterpiece over the entire Godfather trilogy, which is pretty great. Just nonstop bangers, 3 stars. It's
3 stars.
Yeah. Well, one thing
After that review, and it's
Nonstop bangers.
only 3 stars.
3 stars.
Yeah. Well, I guess should we talk about what did you find?
There's on IMDb for the Far Far Away Idol. The first review that comes up, it's 4 stars, and then the headline is disappointing.
I see that. What?
Yeah. It sure ain't of the standard of the Shrek and the Swamp Karaoke Party on the DVD of Shrek. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently they had a terrible time with Far Far Away Idol.
I can see, as you mentioned earlier with the 3 Blind Mice thing, how somebody could be like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
They put their heart into that, man.
My
Freaking Simon Cowell.
Do you want to just go through a playthrough of the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have kind of very small notes of like Far Far Away Idol from my memory, and also from it. So the ending of Shrek 2 ends with how every animated movie ends in a dance number, just because everyone has to, and it's to the song "Livin' La Vida Loca."
Because you finish all the animating and you realize, oh crap, we got all this budget left. What are we going to animate now?
But it's Donkey and Puss in Boots singing "Live La Vida Loca."
Yeah.
And I think
Remember that from the soundtrack.
Oh, that's
Burned that CD out
Which is, okay.
in the car.
It's a boss soundtrack.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a great soundtrack, but I feel like the weird thing is because there's been a lot of talk about it where like Phyllis Productions is a YouTube channel, and he's kind of explaining how the soundtrack, like every song, has to do with something that's going on in the story at that moment. Like I Need a Hero, which is from Footloose, but like the whole point of that song.
That is
being
new
like Shrek.
Information to me. I thought it was from Shrek 2.
Wait, really?
I mean, I knew it was older than Shrek 2, but I only know it from Shrek 2.
Yeah, so in Footloose, it's really just a song about girls being like, I wish I had a man. But the whole song used in Shrek 2 as it's in the story is that it's like Shrek being the hero.
Yeah.
Like to save Fiona. So
It's an epic.
Yeah.
That's an epic sequence.
Or even the Counting Crows song. Like Accidentally in Love is like kind of like bring you up to speed on like the story of the first Shrek.
Yeah.
But like I don't really know where La Vida Loca has to do with the plot line.
Life is crazy, man.
Life is crazy. Let's sing.
Can you look at what happened and not say that was a crazy line?
Yeah, that's true. I guess Ricky Martin is an interesting person. I'll say that much, and we'll leave it at that. But yeah, so it like that's how it ends with them singing La Vida Loca, and then it just and so this like Far Far Away Idol starts with them still singing La Vida Loca.
Right, yeah.
So it's like they're almost like the after party. Which, by the way, I had not heard Living La Vida Loca first because this is a sign of my life. At Chuck E. Cheese, they did a parody called A Drink and a Coca-Cola.
A drink and a Coca-Cola? Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Very cringy.
And have you guys ever heard the name Mark Lowry?
Yeah.
He's like an old, Christian comedian, like preacher, and
No.
he did a cover called "Living for Deep Fried Okra,"
Amen.
which, again, played that song a whole lot.
I think I like that a little bit more than like somehow guerrilla marketing Coca-Cola. Like, oh, I'm thirsty all of a sudden. So anyway, and then like Shrek and Fiona walk up to the stage where they were singing, and I think Fiona says something like, they're just having fun. Like, they're not that bad. And then, like, Donkey and Puss, I just watched this before we started talking. And they're like, what? We're not that bad. And then, out of nowhere, literally no transition, just appears Simon Cowell from American Idol.
Does that imply that he's been there for, like, that entire ending sequence?
And he's just, like, waiting behind a bush, like, maybe I should come out at some point.
Are we in the Shrek universe? Does that mean, like, this
You didn't know
world-
this was a documentary?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the crossover. And it's like we're in the same... like Shrek is somewhere.
That's what I was going to say.
around.
I was like, Simon Cowell in this movie, in this thing, looks extremely uncanny valley, which I call, it's been termed like the DreamWorks face, where it's like, especially early DreamWorks, is like they didn't really get their humans looking right. Especially because it's like they later got more cartoonish.
Right.
But this one was like, is it like, are they trying to go realistic? Like, what are they trying to do?
The motion capture, Simon Cowell again.
But it's, it is very weird that it's like he just like appears. So it is like he was just waiting for his time, his spotlight. And the funny thing is that immediately when he appears, every single person goes, Simon, as if they recognize him and they know him. Like, Simon.
He is also a mythological fairy tale creature.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's it. Like in the Shrek universe, their fairy tales are about like
Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell. Yeah, at one point, I forget, Shrek says something like, the competition hasn't started yet, Simon. And Simon says, I can't help but be judgmental. It's who I am. That is the perfect meme template that no one has used. And I say we should start using that as a template. So it'd be like, when your girlfriend gets mad at you for ordering food she didn't want, I can't help but being judgmental. It's who I am. Just like we need to start making as many of these as possible and put things on the internet.
Just flooding them. Are those going to be all the first posts from the
our
Instagram page?
Maybe we'll just send. Hey, if you're listening, just send us your. Let's put out the template, and then everyone send us as many memes as you can with the template.
Keep them coming. Get those hits up
as much as we can. But I love that line. I don't know. That seems like someone being like, "Is a mood." Simon Cowell is a mood. The whole I can't help but be judgmental is who I am. Feels right for the time. But then all the characters just decide, like, we're going to do a competition. Including Prince Charming, who just comes out.
I remember this.
I'm here. I know I was the villain.
Right.
But I'm here. And, yeah, I guess they're just deciding to do a competition just because they didn't want to stop singing. Was that it? Or because they had so much money that they could pay for the rights to all these songs. I'm not sure. But, yeah. Wait, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to be like, just because Simon Cowell pops up, they're like, oh, well, I guess we got to do a competition now.
We have to.
Anywhere they go in the Shrek universe, he just walks through a bar. Crap!
It's like, oh, well, I guess we got to do it now.
There's another competition.
This ruins karaoke night.
Oh, man. Yeah. So the Magic Mirror character acts as the Ryan Seacrest. Shrek acts as the Randy Jackson. Paul Abdul is Fiona, and Simon's himself, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Which I feel like we should totally do an American Idol episode, but that might have to be its own thing. But it definitely like makes sense that it would be Simon and that it would be made. When this movie came out, 2004, like right at the hit of like American Idol's the biggest thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know much about the behind the scenes of making Far, Far Away Idol, but it seems like something they had figured out pretty early because it seems to be like Mike Myers' voice, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz. So, yeah. Should we go over every song that they do?
Yes.
Yeah, you can list them out.
Okay. In order, it's Donkey sings Disco Inferno, Burn Baby Burn, obviously singing to his girlfriend, the dragon.
Right.
Which she doesn't sing anything, she just sits there, which I would have liked to see her sing.
She breathes fire.
That's true.
Yeah.
She's pyrotechnics.
What is she saying?
She doesn't speak, does she?
No,
like
ever. What does she ever?
No, I don't think she ever.
Does she ever speak?
Like in any movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
She ever?
I know. I was gonna say.
I think that's the thing is that
maybe
like,
she can only
Donkey
sing.
can for some reason understand her.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
What if she's saying
True
"This
love.
Girl's on Fire" by Alicia Keys? But they do the whole joke of like, "You're on fire," and he's like, "Yeah, no, you're actually on fire."
Yeah.
That has been. I think that's even done in the movie Robots. I feel like that's been done a lot in animated movies where it's like, "Yeah, I know."
It's a well to go back to.
Yeah.
You know.
Pinocchio sings Mr. Roboto. The Ugly Stepsister or Doris sings Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Do you know who's the voice actor for Doris?
No.
The Ugly Stepsister. None other than Larry King himself.
What?
Yes. No joke. I don't think he's singing in this Girls Just Want to Have Fun, but it is no way Larry King is the Ugly Stepsister.
Gotcha, man. I can hear it. I can hear it now.
Yeah. Big Bad Wolf sings "Hungry Like the Wolf." Haha. I do like the wolf in this series. Like at the beginning of the movie, he's learning Pork Illustrated.
Oh yeah,
And he's just like, what? His voice is so funny.
Fairy Godmother is such a great character in that movie.
Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah. I think I don't even know who does the voice because I feel like because they got Julie Andrews and John Cleese to play Fiona's parents, which Shrek 2, by the way, is just basically a remake of Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers. One of the
yeah. Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
I love that.
What's some differences in there? Okay, wait, going back to Far Far Away at All. Prince Charming sings "I'm Too Sexy." Doris, the ugly stepsister, woos over him during this time. And Shrek does the classic cartoon thing of pushing a giant red button and the trap door falls and he's gone.
Oh yeah.
And then Simon has a huge burn which he says, that was the artist formerly known as Prince Charming.
Hey.
Oh.
Boo.
Yeah, everyone just sitting there cringing in their chairs. Three by mice sing I can see clearly now. I love the mice. They are so funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like them. They got some good bits.
Don't they fall over while they're singing that?
Yes. I think they say we can see all obstacles in our way and then immediately like crash and fall. Gingy sings Sugar with Tinkerbell is it Archie?
The Archies.
Yeah.
Archie's, yeah. Hook sings Hooked on a Feeling pre-Guardians of the Galaxy. So
I don't remember Captain Hook being in Far Far Away Idol.
Really?
No.
I don't think I did either. I know he's in. Don't they have like because in the movie they have like the shack of like the villains.
Yeah.
And he's playing the piano with a hook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But then he's hooked off stage, which is still a funny bit to this day. It's been in every Muppet cartoon, every Donald Duck, everything where a hook comes from stage and you can't see who's controlling it, and then throws the person backstage. It's so crazy how that's still funny. Like no matter what. I think because it's just so oblivious who is behind the hook, that's just like, this is funny. I don't know. And then Puss sings Boots Were Made for Walking, classic. Yep. Shrek and Fiona sing That's What I Like About You. I don't know if that's more of a joke or just that they love each other. I'm not sure. Anyway.
I don't think there's any humor behind that.
Anyway, and then you get to vote after that. Which, if you're paying close attention... if you're paying close attention, you'll notice that every criticism that Simon makes for each contestant is a little different. And if you know just from his criticisms, you might have a better idea of what ending you'll probably get.
You know how many endings there are?
So if you vote for Donkey, Puss, or Shrek and Fiona, they win the competition. So the dove comes down with the envelope, and that person wins. If you choose Pinocchio, he says, no, you got to be joking. If you choose... This is all in the Shrek wiki, by the way.
Cite your sources.
Pinocchio says, no. Simon goes, ugh, you got to be joking. Ugly Stepsisters, he says, sorry, this is complete rubbish. Big Bad Wolf, impossible, I won't allow it. Prince Charming, he says, please, I don't think so. Three Blind Mice says, sorry, I'm afraid you choose wrong. Gingy, he scuffs and says, now you're being ridiculous. Captain Hook says, this is just wrong. And then each of those times he just goes, nope, it's me, everybody, and sings My Way by Frank Sinatra, which is clearly not Simon singing.
I had to look that up today when I watched it. I was like, that can't be Simon Cowell.
Is it Frank Sinatra? Did they get him from?
They brought him back from the dead. Okay, but that's the weird thing is that pretty much you have a 70% chance of your vote not mattering to this thing. So I don't know how interactive that counts, but...
It's the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
Can understand the frustration.
This is available on Netflix, but it does remove the voting options and just simulcount wins. So
Every time.
Yeah, every time, no matter what.
It's rigged.
It is rigged. It's just like a normal vote. Not to get too political. But yeah, so that's kind of just Shrek. That's just Far, Far Away Idol. It's a cool bonus feature, I think, that everyone has like an enigma for. But I'm trying to think of some stuff from the movie.
Well, Far, Far Away Idol definitely does fit into that space of like, if someone brought it up, you would be like, oh wait, that's not like a fever dream I had as a kid.
Yeah,
it is one of those things that you're like that you've talked yourself into not believing. just because it's
Right.
so weird.
It is. It's so weird. It is.
Because it's not that they just did like, Far, Far Away. They got Simon Cowell.
right.
And they got
him.
oddly animated Simon Cowell.
Yeah, and they paid money to have all these big songs. But yeah.
I wonder how far in advance they had to do that. You touched on it a little bit earlier, but I mean, if animated movies take so long, but the special feature might not take as long, but still, like, it would have had to have been. They were kind of banking on American Idol to continue to be a thing because at that point it was only around for like 2 or 3 seasons, depending on when they filmed it.
But I think, the first season of American Idol, we'll get into this in another
It was like an
episode.
instant hit. I mean,
Right. I mean, I think they didn't know because I think at the very beginning, like the judges, where it's Simon, Randy, and Paula, it's just like a white table with like a cloth on it.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any money. But then, once Kelly Clarkson, it blew up. It was huge. And then after that, the money started pouring in. Sort of like Shrek. They're kind of the same. They kind of risked it all in the first one, and then it became a huge franchise. So, but Shrek is definitely the one where I feel like that's like where it becomes the franchise we know today. Like the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Lord Farquaad doesn't ever come back or anything like that. It's like by Shrek 2, everything you know about it. I mean, like Far, Far Away Land, like all that stuff is very like super iconic in terms of the Shrek world. Y'all have any thoughts from Shrek 2 as a movie? Anything? Dead air.
Man.
Leave it in. I mean, just that it's great.
Yeah, I like it.
I think my favorite part of Shrek 2 is when Donkey and Shrek, they're trying to investigate the fairy godmother and they like sneak into her factory, but under the guise of like OSHA representatives, like, they don't even have dental. Like, please don't tell anyone.
That
She's
is a
horrible.
funny scene. Is that where like they pour the potion and then like
Yeah, they're trying to like...
everyone turns into like... Someone turns into like Cogsworth and Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast.
And then they steal... That's where they steal the love potion from.
Right. Yeah. Which is interesting because at one point I did see this as a comment when I was watching some clips and stuff of Shrek 2. So when Shrek wakes up and he's a human, he has all these like women wooing after him, and the entire time he can't stop thinking about like Fiona the whole time. And the comment to like, see, ladies, this is a man you want. He can have every girl he wants, and he still thinks about his wife. He has commitment.
Yeah, handsome Shrek.
Handsome Shrek. There's tons of memes about handsome Shrek.
There is, yeah.
So, are you looking it up now?
Hop on the Google engine here.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is I love Donkey. I mean, Donkey is my favorite Shrek character out of anyone, but probably when they first meet Puss in Boots and he pulls out his rapier and he's like, hold up, Shrek, he's got a piece. And he's just like, he's a rapier.
Oh, what's the whole bit about like the Knights of Far, Far Away Idol being like the show Cops?
Oh
yeah.
that was great.
Oh,
They
my
have that
God.
pepper grinder.
Yeah. And they have they looked like a helicopter shop coming in on
Oh, right,
them.
because it's the knights are arresting Shrek and Donkey. I don't remember what exactly was happening there, and then all the fairyland fairy tale creatures are in Shrek's like loitering at Shrek's house.
Yeah.
And watching him get arrested on TV.
Oh my gosh.
Gingy's like, oh, this is my show. And it just turns on Nights. You got the hot
Knights.
air balloon.
Right.
Oh my god.
We got a white Bronco.
Oh my gosh. I think that might be one of my favorite bits of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other stuff that really holds up that we haven't discussed. I didn't catch the whole it's kind of foreshadowing that the king was the prince, the frog prince. I didn't catch that at all, but there's foreshadowings of so there's a scene where when he's pretending to stretch his leg out the window, out their bedroom window. I think the queen says something like, "Oh, don't you remember when we were kids and we would hang out by the lily pads?" And he's like, "Oh, our first kiss," things like that. And you're like, "Ding ding, he's the frog." And they're they have a painting in there of just like frogs or something like that. And I didn't get that till later. Important
Shrek 2.
details. Shrek 2, right?
Requiring second and third viewings.
No one knew it was The Shining.
Well, did the queen know that the king was a frog at one point?
I think that's what they're suggesting.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, is that she's the one who turned him into a prince?
Yeah, and then never turned him into a frog. Really.
Okay. Because growing up, I always thought when he turned back into a frog, she was like, "Oh my gosh, Harold! Like, why didn't you tell me you were a frog?" But that makes more sense.
Oh my gosh, Harold!
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's one thing I feel like that it's like, I mean, The Incredibles is a very good example of it where it's like there's a version of it when you're a kid and then there's a version of it when you're an adult. And I think that Incredibles for sure, because there's a ton of stuff about like suicide and like Elastigirl thinks he is her husband's having an affair.
Right.
And all those things that's like, you're not going to get that as a kid.
No.
But as an adult, you get the themes a lot more.
Even in, you remember towards the end of Shrek 2, the king is like, he's part of this scheme to get a love potion for Fiona and Prince Charming to fall in love. Doesn't he slip it into like his own drink? So he just falls in love with his wife again? Like more?
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Like subtly kind of happening?
I do, yeah. I'm not sure if he drinks the tea, but he does do that. He like pours it in, and they get a shot of Fiona drinking the non-tainted tea.
Yeah, magical tea.
And then he's just kind of standing there with his tea. But you never see him drink
Yeah.
his tea.
Right.
And he doesn't get a kiss on his wife at the end of the movie. I was kind of waiting for that watching this time. I was going to see if she was going to kiss the frog, but
Which I guess,
happen.
spoiler alert for the third one, it like starts with him dying or something, right?
it does.
think so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I just remember that movie being a bummer. I think I saw that in theaters. I saw Shrek 2 in theaters and remember liking it, but I remember seeing Shrek 3 in theaters and being like, what was that?
I remember like it had some funny moments, but not quite the staying power as the
Right.
first two.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Shrek 2 in
just-
theaters?
Oh, no.
I saw it in theaters.
Yeah. I think I was at the beach and we were like, let's go see Shrek 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Shrek 3. Or Shrek,
That's okay.
Shrek the Third.
Shrek the
Yeah.
Third, yeah.
Yeah.
Put some respect on
I
it.
do know that.
You Philistine.
I do
Come
know
on.
that meme format with the king as the frog, like when he's dying,
Yeah.
and it'll be like, quick, I don't have much time. Obama's last name is, and then he dies.
I'm sorry, what?
Obama's last name. Yeah. Well, that's sort of the question about like what's the future of Shrek, which we can joke about that in some way. So I mean, DreamWorks as a company has gone through a bunch of changes, but right now they got bought by DreamWorks Animation got bought by Universal. And Universal has also got Illumination Entertainment, so the Minions people, they've made. I think just in general, the whole Despicable Me franchise has made more money altogether than any franchise that Universal's ever owned in the history of
I
their
can't
combined.
even buy a banana anymore
Right.
without seeing Minions.
Okay, I needed the end of that sentence. You were just blacklisted from this.
I can't eat bananas.
I can't. I mean,
Yeah, they've
we're not
taken
here
all
to
the
just talk about your
bananas away.
problems, John.
This has been the Therapy Extreme podcast.
Thank you.
But yeah, no. So I think Illumination.
That's
I mean,
wild, though.
they've been trying to reboot for a long time because they ended on 4, and it's called Shrek Forever After. So, but I mean, is there a market for a new Shrek? I mean, we would see it, but I don't know if the kids would be like, "Yeah, Shrek!" like waiting outside the door.
But when was it like far enough ago that
It's been a long time.
It was it came out in 2010.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been
And then
a good
Puss
little
in
bit.
Boots, the movie Puss in Boots
Right.
came out
That's
a year
right.
later.
Yeah, they got a reboot, which is good.
Yeah.
And Antonio Banderas, I mean, he was Zorro, so he was born to play that role. And he's so good at comedy. I mean, we just, by the time this comes out, we've already done our Spy Kids episode, and he's so funny in that.
Spy Kids 2 is classic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess trying to figure out, like, what do they do next? Is it going to be a reboot of Shrek? Is it going to be, I don't know, a sequel? They talked about doing live action. They have they did a musical on Broadway, so
Right.
sort of going
Yeah.
to more of his backstory a little bit.
Yeah.
So where that's basically just like the first movie with like some extra stuff to it, and they might have taken some more from the book.
Yeah, the school I taught at a few years ago did Shrek the musical.
Oh, really?
It was good.
Really?
Nice.
It was good. Yeah.
So,
All Star isn't in it,
I'm a believer.
but it did get
though,
I'm a
right?
Believer. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, isn't the curtain call?
Yeah, that's
Unbeliever?
that's the last.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the curtain call of the first movie.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
I can't remember.
Again, when they end that film with dancing around,
Right. Yeah.
the animated,
Every dance, every animated movie. Even one of my favorite movies. Not everyone, but one of my favorite movies all time ends in a dance, which is Toy Story 2. But it's you got it in front of me, so it's an original. But still, it would be like if like a Toy Story 4 ended on like It's Always a Good Time or something. After like maybe the most emotional scene in the whole franchise of Toy Story 4, and it's just like play some.
I still haven't seen Toy Story.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
well we'll keep it at that.
I mean, it took me years to see Toy Story 3.
Really, you need to emotionally prepare for it, or was it?
I guess I don't know. I still didn't feel prepared.
Gotcha.
I thought that would have been a fine ending. But.
Yeah, me too. I still feel that way. I mean, I like Toy Story 4, but it's not my favorite. But then, like, DreamWorks has done Trolls, which is
Bob Iger's,
just
like,
musical
$600 million,
numbers
yeah.
Yeah.
over and over again. Like,
Trolls is
Trolls,
good.
everything Trolls
What?
is just
What studio made Sing?
Illumination. Which, part of me likes
it's
it.
dangerous putting those two together.
Yeah, now that they're technically combined. Podcast The Ride where they were doing an episode about the Shrek 4D attraction at Universal. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. It's more like a 4D movie, like your chairs move and you wear 3D glasses. It's one of those things. It's fine. In a weird way, it's it's like the piece between Shrek 1 and 2, like it fills in the gap of the story. So like the ride, Shrek 4D ends with them like going on the Onion to their honeymoon. So yeah, it's very weird. It's also on Netflix. It's not really good without the effects. It's kind of like I don't know. So Podcast Ride did the whole thing because they were talking
You just
about
have to move your own chair. You just-
water,
Crazy.
yeah, spray water at yourself for the effects. and-
Someone with a cup like is in front of you the whole time.
now.
There's just like a title card, like you will need.
It has a lot of the. It has a lot of the.
Make sure you have some assembly required.
I think it's part of like
Hot glue
the.
gun.
I think it's part of the like Shrek Spooktacular or something that they added it in there. But yeah, that also has a lot of the really cheesy effects of like the carriage, and they point like straight into the screen. Like a lot of the early like we don't know what to do with 3D, so we're just gonna throw our hands in your face type
Spy
thing.
Kids 3D.
Right, where that was literally just like, let's play with this ping pong paddle. Like,
What else started that? Oh, Monsters vs. Aliens literally starts with a ping pong
okay, there's one thing about Monsters vs. Aliens. That's a DreamWorks, so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Is that there was a Super Bowl ad that they aired for Monsters vs. Aliens that was in 3D. And they had a huge marketing campaign that if you go to Target, you can get 3D glasses for the big game, and you wear it. So the ad was in 3D on like in front of billions, and like it starts with a guy playing with a ping pong paddle. So that was a huge push, but I didn't have 3D glasses, so I was watching a very blurry commercial.
Just a green and or a blue and red blurry commercial.
But
paddle. Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
Oh no.
No, but I was gonna say, so Podcast to Ride, they were just kind of pitching like, well, what do we do with Shrek? Like, and there's been meetings in boardrooms like, what do we do with Shrek, guys? We gotta figure this out.
How do we get Shrek back into our lives?
We need him right now more than ever.
Shrek memes the movie.
That's one
Just
thing.
flash him on the screen.
We gotta bring Mike Myers back.
It's just made in like it's like a slideshow in Windows Movie Maker.
yeah.
That 3D box transition.
Dissolve effects. Yeah.
You just have a guy with a clicker in the theater. All right, so here we go.
Has everybody read it? Has everybody read it? Yeah.
They just have like a unenthusiastic like college professor like explaining what the meme is about.
You see in this one.
Shrek here. All right, are we good? Moving on. So their idea was to have is that Shrek should just be a celebrity, like in popular culture. Essentially, he would just be he'd just be taking over like a Jack Nicholson role, As like
Sitting
you just
courtside for basketball.
Yeah, exactly. You're just watching
Shrek at the Laker game.
You're just watching like a Laker game, and then just from time to time you'll see Shrek with like court side of the game.
Oh, that's a block.
There's Shrek, or like you like where you're watching the Oscars, and you cut to like the crowd, and there's just Shrek in the audience.
Is he wearing a suit or is he still wearing
I think he should be
his
wearing
swamp?
the Jack Nicholson glasses.
Is Shrek gonna like run for Congress or anything?
We're at the Met Gala, and here's Shrek.
And the
Bob Johnson versus Shrek in third debate.
Oh my gosh, I want to see that so bad. Just Shrek.
please welcome the President of the United States.
Less that he's like a celebrity, like he's making movies, but he's just at events.
I thought you were gonna go like that. He was like in sponsored ads, like.
Oh, he could pull the Richard Karn, like he does infomercials now.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm the ShamWow Shrek.
It's time to talk about Sprint.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying, but I like the idea of him just seeing Shrek around, like, you guys, like, as you're the parent telling your kids, like, he was my favorite growing up. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
like a washed up
animated creature growing up.
Well, a washed up celebrity, just like, yeah, but he should be wearing the Nicholson glasses, like the
Pointing, there he is, Dad. There's nothing there.
It's a good thing Shrek has his life alert or whatever.
Did you do Birdman, but with Shrek?
Oh, dude.
Or yeah, he has to come back. Maybe he hosts like he's like one of the hosts for America's Got Talent. It's like Simon Cowell and Shrek again back together.
Welcome back.
And Howie Mandel.
Oh my gosh.
We should get him back to host like Deal or No Deal. Oh, that'd be so good. Just with Shrek. Just gotta get Mike Myers back on. But another thing we can bring him back is because Katzenberg, who's no longer with DreamWorks, is the founder of Quibi. You know, the streaming service.
That's all I need to know to hate him.
If you haven't gotten
I've
tired
seen
of
a lot of ads.
Quibi, you're not excited for Anna Kendrick and her sex doll going on adventures, or Dane DeHaan and his Uber driver.
Okay, first of all, Quibi was not a term before this platform. Like they made that up.
It's a made up word. Quibi.
Okay, that ticks me off
What
so
is
much.
Quibi?
You don't.
Like,
you've lived a
It's a
life
Quibi.
without Quibi.
You're
So Quibi is a new streaming service that started that's only mobile.
'Cause-
And the idea is that everything is made so you can watch either vertically or horizontally. And
It
everything
is-
is only 10 minutes.
So like TikTok, but 10-minute.
yeah, it's the TikTok
Pretty
of like
much.
streaming platforms.
You can watch Chrissy
Because we
Teigen
need
host
more
a
streaming
spoof of
platforms.
Judge Judy.
Oh.
Or you could watch Chance the Rapper host Punk'd. Yeah, from your facial recognitions... Maybe this would help to understand that in the past few months, Quibi has lost over $500 million.
Wow,
Sounds about right.
I
yeah.
didn't imagine they were doing well, but wow.
Yeah, no, it's been a disaster.
Okay, but
Wow.
then I have a question for you, Brett.
Yeah.
It's between Quibi's original content and the Apple TV Plus original content. Who do you have?
Okay, well, I will say because I have only seen the pilot for Mythic Quest, which is Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day. So It's Always Sunny, and so they have a new show on Apple TV Plus, and I watched the pilot for that show, and I really liked it. I thought it was very funny. It's very much like it feels like for a while we haven't had a sitcom, like a situational comedy that's like big anymore. Maybe just because of like Netflix and everything kind of changing how we watch TV, but it really feels like when was the last time we had a show like that?
Right.
And Mythic Quest feels like oh, that's it.
And rewatching's a really big thing now.
Rewatching?
Yeah, of, like-
like The Office.
Yeah, you just
for
like
sure.
rewatch The Office, or people rewatch Friends.
Yeah, or
you know.
Shrek.
Yeah.
But yeah.
2 times. baby.
So Quibi,
2 times.
yeah, Quibi is very
for
much
3.
the it's so they started it as basically like the streaming service on the go that you can watch on your way to work or whatever. They happened to start it like in April of 2020 when nobody was going anywhere. And the fact that I think they're changing it now, but the fact that you can only watch it on your phone is everything about it. They put so much money into it and they've lost so much money.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Katzenberg. But maybe Shrek, if you put Shrek on Quibi, put him in some of these shows, that might change something.
Just like a series of 10-minute shorts with
Yeah.
like the Shrek characters.
Right.
Shrek and Donkey riding around.
You could do
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
Like comedians in
Yeah.
cars getting coffee, but just Shrek and Donkey.
Shrek in cars
and
getting
Donkey.
coffee.
Yeah.
Just
Or-
not even.
or
Don't
like
even
a-
try. Just rip it off.
Or like a Guy Fieri show, like a Food Network show, but it's Shrek. It's like
Diners, diving, or
onions, drive-ins,
drive-ins
and
and
dives. Yeah.
swamps. Or
That's a terrible way. They call them dives swamps. But yeah, same idea where, yeah. I would watch that on Quibi. If Quibi right now, what's pitched to Quibi right now? A Shrek Guy Fieri type travel show where Shrek travels around trying the different food.
Definitely.
That I would sign up for Quibi immediately. I think it's also I could be saying this completely wrong because I'm not looking at the thing. I'm gonna look it up right now. How much is Quibi? Is it like $15 a month or something? Oh, $5 a month. Never mind.
$5 a month.
I think that's the same with Apple TV Plus, right? It's pretty cheap.
I want to say, yeah.
And like Disney Plus. But yeah,
How much is Disney Plus?
I think it's like $6 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their whole thing is that they're trying to sell. I know this is super boring for everyone, but I think their whole thing is that they're selling a bundle with like Hulu and ESPN,
ESPN Plus.
and you can get all of it
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
$12 or something,
Yeah.
which is really good.
Yeah.
But that's also just Disney, taking over our lives.
Yeah.
One bit at
You
a
already
time.
give us most of your money. Why not
Slowly
just give us a little bit
reinventing
more?
cable.
So, but yeah, that's all I have in terms of Shrek's related stuff. Anybody else got anything else?
I'm out.
You're leaving?
Goodbye.
See ya, Jonathan.
Anything else? Jackson, any last words about Shrek?
Any
related?
last words?
About Shrek 2. Just it's a movie that is worth rewatching. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like super nostalgic. You get I'm trying to find
The words.
Yeah.
Speechless.
What-
Shrek 2 is Render
it-
Jackson speechless.
Well, when I was watching it, it was like, I got that childhood feeling, and it was a great time, and definitely worth rewatching.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, I don't know what that's going to be like. It's just like, if you're listening to this, like, maybe I should watch the Shrek movie. These guys are
See what all
talking
these
about.
people are talking about. Shrek.
Yeah. Well, normally on the show we have a prize bucket for each other, but since you're a guest, we do have a prize for you. Let me reach out and see what I can find. So I looked everywhere, at Target, at Walmart, and everything, anything Shrek related, and I guess because it's just not popular anymore, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find the DVD of Shrek anymore.
What?
Yeah, like Shrek was impossible to find anything related.
I
So
guess it-
I
it
don't
is
have
getting
anything
pretty-
Shrek
Kind of
related.
past its
for you.
prime.
But I do have a this is weird, but it's a Dragon Ball poster. So nothing at all related to Shrek.
Yo,
I was very busy this week.
Totally
But
unrelated.
Holy cow.
yeah, so it's a Dragon Ball poster. It's yours.
that's-
This is your prize.
That's not just any
Wow.
Dragon Ball poster.
No, it's
that's
not.
that's exclusive from Japan.
Yes.
I'm not
What?
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Holy cow.
So
got-
it's
This is
yours.
You got that.
cool.
Yeah, when we were in Tokyo.
We got it in Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah.
At a
Dang.
place called Animate. It's a really cool
Yeah.
anime store.
Really,
Wow, I
really sick.
Really appreciate this. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks
Thanks
for
so
coming on the
much
show.
for
We'll have
being
to have you
here.
back. For sure.
Yeah, I'd love to come back.
Yeah, and you know what? If you have any topics from the 2000s that you want to talk about, not just movies or anything, I mean, it'd be a little bit weird if you're like, let's do like something really intense. Like, let's do Lost in Translation. I'd be like,
Ooh,
yes, but I don't know.
maybe. Maybe someone like first movie that came into my mind was Flags of Our Fathers for some reason. Like
Welcome
something
to Most Extreme Podcast. We're going to talk about flags.
something Clint Eastwood. I don't know, but yeah, I'll think of something. man.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Other than that, thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram with the handle Most Extreme Pod. And if you want to email us, you can email us at mostextremepodcast@gmail.com. Should we give a hint of what the next episode should be?
I'm dying of anticipation. Give me a hint.
Okay, I'm trying to think of something we can give a pitch for what this one, the next one is. It will take you for a spin. I'll say that much.
Oh. Got him.
Cool. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for listening.